today, working on my own dogs for a bit of a dog artwork for my wife, actually, which is quite exciting. She's got a big birthday coming up, and I've done a nice little video to go with this, and I helped my kids to do the base layers for this particular stencils, which I use to get the main sort of shapes and colours in situ, and then from there I just work it up gradually into a more refined artwork, and it's all done with spray paints. Now the thing is, it's actually my own dog, and one of them is passed away, which is obviously very sad, but as it's my wife's big birthday coming up, and what I do is I use a reference point on my phone and then gradually add in more and more detail into the piece. So, and you can see I use wood as my canvas. This is a dark black, and what I do is I just spray the paints, and then I use my little finger just to put indications of where there's more dark going on, and that should just be coming together in front of your eyes. Now, what I do is I spray paint onto a piece of clear plastic, and that just gives me the colours that I want. If I use like acrylics or oils right now, then it's drying time, all the rest of it. So I keep with using spray paint, even though I'm doing the detail side of the piece. This is bramble, and this is holly, actually. Holly is still with us. Bless her. I'm just going to put some darks in there, just so you can see. And I love just using my little finger to dab the paint on, just gradually. Hoping you can hear me okay. I've got the new microphone on at the moment, which is quite exciting. As I said, it's all done with spray paint. Let me just add a little bit of, this is a really cool marbling spray paint I used. So it's a real mixed media one. A little bit too much then. Don't tell my wife, but if I something I don't like, I just dab it off. Sort that out later. But let's put some more darks in here. There's a bit more dark definition from the ears. But yeah, so it's nice to sort of work on these, as it's my own dogs. This is Holly, who's now 14. So this is when she was a puppy, and we actually bred her as a dog. This is Bramble, bless her. She passed away. She was a brilliant mum, but she passed away about 3 or 4 years ago. And it's my wife's, it's a big birthday coming up, so I'm just doing this secretly, apart from streaming this live over the internet to quite a few people. But she's not a YouTuber, so she's not going to find out before Wednesday, fingers crossed. But it's nice to actually talk about this a little bit while I'm painting the artwork onto the wood. I'm just looking for where the dark areas are on this dog's head, and just adding them into the composition gradually. So a few more dark areas to go in, and light areas. Let's put a little bit of light on these ears. So what I do is I use these spray paints like that, test the can over there, spray it onto a piece of acetate. So look, if I just move that, you won't see that, but I'm not spraying it onto the piece. But that just gives me the paint to work with, and I just use my little finger here like that, just to put on some of the lights. We should just see that coming together gradually when I'm adding the lights. It's just where on this, she's got lovely hairy ears. All dogs have hairy ears, I know that, but sort of shagginess is what I'm trying to get. So a real shaggy effect onto the ears. So that's nice. It's all coming together now. If you don't subscribe to the Stencil Shed, do give me a subscription, and to give me a subscribe. I'm always spray painting, doing fun stuff with de-icers. We've got a hello for Yanis, hello for Fazia, and hello for Kevin. How is everyone doing? Welcome to the stencil shed, by the way. This is my workshop. You get an idea of the sort of size of it down here when I just move the camera like that. Thank you very much, Jack, for that. But as I said, these are my actual dogs. This is Bramble and Holly. Let me just move the camera up slightly like that so you can just see what's going on. Yeah, they're beautiful dogs. And we bred Holly from Bramble. And sadly, Bramble is no longer with us, the bigger dog just here. So I'm bringing her back to life as a gift for my wife. Let's put a bit more light just there like that. Thank you very much for any subscriptions coming through. Much appreciated. My name is Sid. And what I'm just doing is adding a little bit of, I'm not 100% with the greys on there, so I'm just going to just drift over some brown very gently. And that's good because see, spray paints, if you put them on thick, then they're not transparent. But if you're just skimming it on like that, and I've got this transparent spray paint just here as well. So I'm just going to have a little play with that as well. Let me add a little bit onto Holly down here. I'm just trying to get a little bit more lightness onto the design. But yeah, I'm happy with the way it's going so far. And I'm just going to show you just here. This is what I'm using. So this is a photograph of both the dogs together when they were a lot younger. But it's coming together now gradually. And what I'm seeing here is I need to put a little bit more light next to that ear like that. So again, what I do is I just lay out the acetate, spray on this lighter brown, and then I'm just going to add that and lighten up this area of the ear like that. Brilliant. So this is my studio. So I'm doing this secretly. My wife's got the kids at the moment, and I've snuck up here. I've said I've spray painting pheasants. I will show you a pheasant. I didn't lie to her. I don't want to lie to the missus, but this is a pheasant that's kind of half done just there, kind of work in progress. So I'll say I got distracted and didn't finish it, and she'll be none the wiser. Just as I'm adding a little bit more detail onto these dogs. I also use a pyrography tool where I burn the paint away. So I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer when I get onto that just there. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with them so far. And usually when I do my dog commissions, they're for someone else. But it's nice to do a commission. I'm just going to add a bit of white as well, just onto the here. For myself, actually, with my own dogs. I've painted Holly before, but an older version of her. That was 14 years ago. I'm just going to add a little bit more light under the neck. She had a really scraggy sort of coat. And never discount the use of your small finger just for adding paint on. I don't really use brushes anymore, to be honest. I use spray paint, stencils, and fingers, and a pyrography tool. It's funny, there we are, I have to put a bit of dark on there by accident, that's all right. She does actually have, you can see that just bringing it up just a few notches just there with the coloration on Bramble's chest. Got pinks in there. She obviously they're her puppies, so she got a little bit of udderage going on, bless her. And she was a fantastic mum, Holly. Very, very nice dog. Very good mother. So I'm just adding a little bit more around the little udders down there, we called her. Little udders. And then I've got to add a little bit of dark speckles onto her legs. You see just there? And again, what I'll do is I'm going to use this brown spray paint, get the flow of the cap going, spray it on there. And then if you stay with me, you'll see me just adding onto this area some of the coloration just down here. I'm going to get it right. Get a little speckle there. And you see, with using your finger, you get more of a painterly feel. It kind of straight away. You bring that down a little bit, and then you see what I'm doing. Right across. You get these little speckles, which I'm just emulating from here, all the way down to a paw, actually, down a bit down there. And where you can see here, that's where her claws are down there. Add that in. I'm going to be making a video of how I did the original part, which was doing the stencils and spray paints, and I actually got my kids to help do that. So give me a subscribe, and hopefully on your screens, I've just got a little short, just going to be about a minute long, the video, but just some of the making, then hopefully how my wife received the artwork as well. I'm just going to do a little bit more on Bramble's ears up here, a little bit more dark on the edges like that. Usually at this stage, to be honest, what I tend to do is put loud music on and really get into it and pump it out and kind of get a little bit lost in the painting. But I do also find when I do these live streams to do this, it also helps because I got to bring my A game a little bit because I know people are watching. And it also stops me. I'm like you guys, I tend to get my phone out and start scrolling and looking at random videos, and all of a sudden I've burned up 2 or 3 minutes when I should be working. So it helps to focus a little bit when I'm up here. It's a little bit more dark on Holly's nose round there. Like that, all coming together at the base. So yeah, any subscribers, brilliant. Thank you very much. You won't be disappointed going forward. We've got, I do fun stuff with de-icer. Do you dropping off one of my de-icer videos? I'd be interested to hear that. Yeah, I don't take myself too seriously as an artist. I don't sell through galleries, and as a result, I kind of represent myself with what I do. It's all very personal. My name is Sid, by the way. Thanks for joining this little mini live. What I'm doing is adding the details. These 2 dogs are actually my dogs, who sadly passed away a number of years ago. Sorry, Bramble did. But I've still got Holly, who's 14. So it's a nice kind of therapeutic thing for me to do actually as well. I'm just going to add some more speckles in here. We've got a lot of dark going down here as well to differentiate the 2 dogs. And you see Holly, the puppy just here. What they say is the dogs grow into their paws, and her paws at this stage, even though she's half the size, are the same size as Bramble. That is her daughter, so we knew at this stage she was going to be quite a big dog, to be fair. Just put a little bit of... That's actually Holly's rear leg. So I've got to just differentiate this leg from that, because there's a bit of a muddle behind there. That's better. That's coming together now. I'm liking that. I do a lot of the detail work as well. I use these paint pens, but I've got to make sure this dries. So I'm going to do a lot of the kind of furry sort of elements, certainly when I'm adding the contrast with whites and darks right at the very end onto the piece. I'm just going to add a little bit of white on this ear, just where the light has caught it. I will do that with paint, so it's got more. I've actually spray painted copper spray paint onto the textures of these, so they do shimmer a little bit, and that is onto the brown paint. So yeah, I use this copper spray paint as well. Let me just go and bring this up like that. Yeah, so thank you for subscribing. I can see just on my thing that I've had some new subscribers come through. What I like to say is I'm a kind of mixture of art tutorials, my own artwork, fun things that I do with spray paints. I also do events. I go out and about with my artwork. So recently this week I had Glastonbury confirmed, which is fantastic. So for the last 10 years I've sold my artwork at the Glastonbury Festival, which is a fantastic thing to do. Anyone got tickets this year, well done you. I got confirmed on Thursday because we have to apply every year. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to that event. And it's always a real thrill to sell my art at the festival. I'm just checking down here what's happening with this paw because it's very grey. So let me just go and put a little bit of what I do is I spray just onto this clear acetate. Probably looks a bit weird down the camera. I'm not spray painting onto the actual portrait, but that just gives me a little bit of paint to work with, and then I just use my finger, and you can sort of manipulate the paint away like that. See, they just pour just there, and I'm blending it into the shadow. And then I put a bit of brown on as well. I don't want to go too heavy on the black if I can, because you can kill the life out of a painting if you just use black, to be honest. So yeah, that's coming together nicely now. Very nice indeed. Thank you very much for the stir. Very nice, sir. And any questions, do let me know where in the world you're watching right now. I do live streaming on other networks, but YouTube tends to be much more international. Let me go and see. I just need to spray a little bit of light grey onto this area. Just when testing the cat. That's just lightened up that area, which is actually Holly's back legs, but under shadow, just behind Bramble's, just there. I'm actually pretty happy with Bramble's eyes, although I've just had a bit of a smudge just there. And I'll just take that back with a little bit of a white marker. That's there. The beautiful big brown eyes, browner eyes than Holly actually. I'm just going to add some more brown here. Just bigger, browner eyes. Holly had smaller eyes, even when she grew a bit bigger. Just adding some dark brown, a bit more detail, a bit more finesse to the eye. That's nice. Now what I'm going to do here, so this is a little bit of a, to get the detail of the top of Bramble's head and the contrast, you can actually just line it out with the white. Let me go and bring you in slightly closer to do this. And you'll see it just here. This one I'm adding the white. And I can also just kind of, this is not going to be flat. I want to have that scragginess. They're actually wet when I took the photo of the dogs. So we've been out in the field, so they were wet. So their fur is sticking together. So this is why this kind of white area is nice and clumpy. So I'm trying to just show that in the painting. It's just these micro details you gradually add and you build on top. You keep building and building. Other artists, what they'll do is they start with the eye and they work out, and every single section is almost complete before they move to the next. But I'm more of a scattergun approach. So by that, what I mean is I kind of do a bit here and I do a bit there and I do a bit here and da da da. And for me, the painting all builds at the same time. So it goes from basic, all of it's basic, work on it a bit more, and it gets to slightly better than basic. And then what I sort of call the intermediary phase, where every artist, I don't care what they say, whenever every painting they do, certainly they have a mini nervous breakdown in the middle of it where they think it doesn't look good, kind of not quite right. Certainly if people are watching, and obviously I'm doing this on a live stream as well. I mean, that's nice, isn't it? With the white, I'm just pulling around the side. You have these mini sort of nervous breakdowns. And then towards the end, you get a bit of adrenaline hit when you actually think, that turned out all right, you know. I'm liking that. But you have to go through this kind of, unless you're built sort of wrong, basically. I'm just going to add a little bit dark here, and you're supremely confident and arrogant, maybe. There's always this moment where you think it's all going to pot. So that's quite nice there. I'm just trying to show the nose off a bit more. Like that. Yeah, that's coming on nicely. Very nicely indeed. Just going to move you back so you can see a little bit more of both the dogs and the studio just there. Any more questions, do let me know. These are sort of some of the artworks you can just buy through my YouTube shop if you're in the UK. So these like artworks, which I use wood always as my canvas. This is a tree frog on a beautiful chunk of oak just there. And they're all ready to hang. This is a commission. Not a commission, sorry. This is a personal artwork which I'm doing to surprise my wife because she's got quite a big birthday coming up. I'm just gradually working this up, adding a few more whites, highlights. Very nice indeed. Yeah, I'm liking that. A bit more white. I'm actually going to be using a pyrography tool in a minute where I burn the paint away, which is quite exciting, isn't it? So I might even bring you in a little bit closer to do that. I love using wood as my canvas. So anything that you spray paint with is as important what you're spraying on as what you're spraying or the image that you're painting on there. And this, I've got the natural grain, the natural colours shining through, and the browns complement the browns and the dogs. So if you think the actual tree has done half the work for me, to be fair, isn't it? Just there on the actual artwork. Just add a little bit more. So yeah, it's quite impressionistic, the style that I've got. But only when you get up close. Hopefully, when you get out, there's a lot of detail. And I'm just going to add a little bit more white to Holly's head. So any questions, do let me know. Let me know in the comments. That'd be amazing if you could make a comment. Let me know where in the world you are. Inspire me a little bit. I love to go off on tangents during these little live streams. Need a little bit of audience participation for that though. Just trying to get this pen working. As I said earlier, the dogs were actually wet when I did this. So I've got to give this kind of splattered hair effect is what I'm going for here. But that kind of plays into my style, so I don't have to do really fine work with the hairs. I can clump them together, sort of big clumps. And she was quite a strong dog, Bramble, which is the one that I'm working on now. She had quite a big chest. So I want to just show that with the flow of the actual hair just here. Thank you very much for the likes coming through just there. A few little hearts popped up on the screen. I'm thinking you're liking what's going on just there. With the whites just been added to Bramble's chest. This is the reference that I've got. So this is an old photo I took, 15 years ago, something like that. Just seen another area. I'm just going to add a little bit more kind of speckles to Bramble's legs. And actually Holly's got these speckles as well. She's still got the speckles in the same spots. And she had this amazing white... we had a litter of puppies actually, and 9 in total, and she was number 8 in the litter. And she's got a marking on her back, like a number 8. So that was one of the reasons that we really sort of... when we were thinking, well, maybe we'll keep one, maybe we won't. And we thought, well, she's so special having that 8 marking on the back, just there. So yeah, we decided to keep Holly, and we're ever so pleased that we did. She's been a fantastic dog. She's 14 now. Often when at these live streams, you'll see her popping up in the background, but as I'm kind of coming up here secretly, adding some little bit of area there, which I've just added, that makes the kind of paw print happy with that actually. Yeah, it's looking good. I'm just looking at what you're looking at. My name's Sid. I'm a spray paint artist from England, in a place called a little small town called Malmesbury. I use wood as my canvas, and this is a little bit of a surprise present for my wife. Actually, this is my dog who's sadly passed away now. This is Bramble, and this is Holly, and it's a bit of a surprise gift for my wife. Thankfully, she's just not a YouTuber, so I'm streaming this live on the internet, and hopefully she's not going to see that before Wednesday. But I thought it's quite a nice opportunity just to sort of show off what I do. I do dog commissions, so I do quite often get people message me. I've just got a photo here which I'm using as the reference point. I'm just going to add a little bit of white into that as well. A little bit more something to the nose just there. And I just like to use my fingers just to rub in the paint to bring it all together. Definitely needs a little bit more dark on her nose there, Holly. More of a pink around her eyes. In a moment, I'm going to be getting the pyrography tool out and be burning some of the paint away to get the hairs into the colorations. I'm just going to add a few pinks just around Holly's eyes. And the way I do that, just spray it onto this acetate, and then just use the younger dog, the puppy. She's just got these little areas which only young dogs have. And a bit more pink around the eyes. Just to me shouts that she's a puppy. But yeah, it's coming together nicely just there. I'm happy with that. I'm just coming to have a little look from the top. Thank you, Leonie, for the nice lovely. This is all done by hand. I do them with spray paints. Do give me a follow or a subscribe. What's that line there? It's a weird. There we go. I'm just checking it out. Right, I'm going to bust open. This is a pyrography tool. So basically, it's a hot knife. And when I'm happy with the, let's see the temperature on here. So I'm going to